And I'm like, oh, but yeah, Gujarati nahi nahi, only English. And, and he's like, oh, Gujarati nahi? And he goes, I keep speaking Hindi and Gujarati. I was literally smiling that it really, really meant a lot to me. The guy cancelled the ride and in front of my eyes, he drove off. The difference in currency is. So I heard that this guy got an apartment, he paid for the apartment and he moved in and everything. And I promise to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Hi guys, my name is Adimiri James and you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, today I decided to do something different, something like different from what I usually do. Today I'm going to be sharing some of my experiences as an international student. Since I came abroad to study, I'm going to be sharing some of the things that I've gone through and some of the things that I'm currently going through. And these are the things that most international students go through. Now, throughout this video, I want you to bear in mind that these experiences I'm sharing are personal to me. Is that correct? I mean, like, they're my personal experiences. They're things that I have gone through. So, like, they might vary from person to person, but I believe that most international students go through these things, especially if you're in Asia or like, around here where I am, which is Asia, by the way. Somewhere in Asia. But like, today I'm going to be saying the good things, the bad things, the ugly things, the beautiful things that I've gone through since I came abroad to study, abroad. Why am I saying abroad twice? Like, you get what I mean? But like, today I'm going to be telling you the things I've gone through, and like, I said that like 10 times. Let's get into the video. By now, I believe you've subscribed, and if you've not, I'm going to give you a moment to do that now. Thank you. Welcome to the family. Okay, so we're going to get straight into the video. You know how we do here. I don't waste your time. Straight up. Okay, the first thing I suffered with after like coming abroad to study was the time difference. Because like where I'm studying is 4 hours 30 minutes ahead of like the time in my place, like the time in my country. So it was really hard for me to like adjust. I think the first week I came, I didn't sleep at all. Okay, no. The first 2 days I slept because of like jet lag and everything. I was tired, so I slept. But afterwards, I could not sleep. I would be up till around 5, 6, and that's when I'll finally go to sleep because my system was still like adjusting to the time difference and everything. And I would say that's normal, especially if you're going like really far from home, because it's really far from home for me. So the time difference was there, and I don't know, for someone who doesn't usually sleep outside my house, it was very difficult for me to adjust to the time difference and the new surroundings and the new people and the fact that I was alone because I came here alone. I traveled alone, literally. But, after I came, I met a really nice person, but I think she's not here anymore. And she helped me settle in and made everything better. But yeah, I had a hard time like getting used to the time difference. Is that correct? I had a hard time adjusting to the time difference. The second thing I suffered with was the food. Good. Now, for me, I'm somebody who is already very picky. Even from home, I'm very, very picky. I know it's not a positive, it's not a good trait, like it's not a good thing, but I'm very, very picky, especially what I eat. Probably because I have like allergies and stuff. But like I'm very picky with what I eat. So when I came here, it was kind of hard to like get used to the food. I'm actually still not used to the food. Like I'm still adjusting because I don't know, I'm not one to try a lot of new things. And I know what you're going to be thinking, like you traveled, you should try new things. But I'm not a fan of new things. I like to stay in my safety zone. I like to stay in my space. So I haven't really tried anything here. I'm not gonna lie. Like what can I tried chai tea. Chai is actually really nice, and I think I tried that when we went for a movie shoot thing in Chennai, and that was when it gave me the chai. And back then, I don't know, everybody was taking it. It would have been weird if I said like I was not going to take it, so I just took it, and it was actually nice. So I think that's the only thing I've tried here. Excuse me. Sorry. So yeah, I think that's the only. Oh no, I tried chapati too. I actually tried chapati. I did, right? I tried chapati, and okay, why did I say chai is the only thing I've tried? I've tried a lot of things. I tried chapati, and I also tried there's this rice and soup thingy that I had in Hyderabad. and it was actually, I went for a camp in Hyderabad, and there was no African food, so it was either I eat that or I starve to death. So I think I was there for like a week, and I started getting used to it. So I had I don't know what it's called, I'm sorry, I had the rice. I don't even know the name though, but the thing is like it's like pancake, although it's crispier, it's like lighter than pancake, but it's like pancake. I had it because my roommate, she's Nigerian too, but she likes to try a lot of stuff. My ex roommate, when I was in the hostel, so I think she was one that made that, and I tried that too, and it was actually nice. So I've tried a couple of things, but when I came here at first, I was very conscious of what I eat. I'm still taking my time to adjust to the food, honestly. Less for me, I'll just keep cooking my African dishes. But you know what they say, when you're in Rome, you have to learn to behave like the Romans. I hate that saying, but it's actually true. Because if I want to save money and all of that, I have to learn to like start eating the stuff that's here and everything. And yeah, I'm still having a hard time adjusting to the food, honestly. Okay, the next thing which really affected me was the educational gap. It's like the things that I was taught till my SS3, where I stopped, that's high school, right? There's this wide gap between that and what I'm being taught right now. That was like in my first year though. So it was really hard because you know how in universities, like back at home though, especially in my country universities, there's usually like introduction, there's like introduction to the new course, intro this, intro that. But okay, there was introduction here, but it just goes straight on. It's like they expect you to go back to like previous knowledge to like understand what's being taught now, but I don't have any past knowledge to rely on. So it got really hard. Like the gap was really wide. It's really wide. So I usually go on YouTube to like get to attend classes about things I don't understand, and then I have to read extra because I'm reading the things I'm being taught now, and I'm still reading the things that they expect me to already know. So the educational gap is kind of like really wide. So like yeah, I did suffer from that, and I'm still suffering from that. Like the educational gap thing is crazy, but it's just one thing about like going to school in another country, because their syllables and their educational system might not be the same with yours. You know what they're being taught here, it's not exactly the same thing we're being taught back home. So like I have to do a lot more to catch up. Well, there's the case of housing and accommodation, right? Although like my university has like, it provides a hostel for like students if you want to stay in the hostel and everything, but I don't know, I wasn't very comfortable in the hostel, probably because I'm not used to sharing my space with others. So because of that, I think after my first year, yes, I had to put up with it throughout my first year, and it was okay because my roommate was amazing and everything. But during my second year, when I started my second year, a friend of mine came, so I figured like we can just like move out together, because that was the plan. So we moved out together, and honestly, the accommodation is very, very difficult, especially here particularly. I think it's this area that's different. Like they don't like giving out apartments, or they don't like giving apartments out to Africans, and it's a problem because like I think some days back, there was this thing on Instagram where and it's here, like this very place I am. There was this guy that got an apartment. He paid for the apartment, moved in and everything. Although I was not there though, but this is what I heard. You know how it is now. You can hear something online and it's not true. But this is what I heard from a couple of different people. Like they were saying the same thing, so they can't all be wrong, right? So I heard that this guy got an apartment. He paid for the apartment and he moved in and everything. And I think it was midday. The other people that stayed there suddenly like started chasing him out. They were like, they don't want Africans. And the owner of the house came and he was like, yeah, he doesn't like Africans in his house either. Like I already paid for the house, like, and the guy is actually Nigerian. And they were like, he should leave the house and leave the house. Like he has already paid for the apartments and everything, and his things are there. And I think he was like, oh, I'm going to like go let me get my stuff so I can go to school and we'll figure this out later. And where's my chest hurting? And when he was like, let him go get his stuff so he can like go to college, and maybe when he comes back they figure it out and everything, almost everybody in the neighborhood started chasing him. And some guys, they took like bricks, like like they took wood and they were literally hitting the guy. I don't want to show the video here because it's not really nice. They started hitting the guy and everything, and it was just weird. And I know, seeing some people will be like, it's a one-time thing, but it happens a lot. There's been scenarios where Africans find apartments, they're okay with it, they want to move in, and the landlord, that's the owner of the house, is okay with it and everything. And the people staying there will be like, oh, they don't want Africans in the neighborhood, they don't want Africans in the neighborhood. And I understand, because some Africans, they can be a handful sometimes, but I think it's mean to classify all the Africans as bad and all of that because of the mistakes of a few people, because I believe that we all make mistakes regardless of our race. I believe that, be it a white man, a black man, whatever, we all make mistakes, and you should not judge me based on my color. But what do I know? The next thing I would say I suffered from a lot is the cultural adjustments. The difference in culture is so wide, because moving from Nigeria to India, you can see the difference. The cultural gap is so wide, it's so different, and it tends to be challenging sometimes. But I mean, I don't really socialize like that, so it doesn't really affect me. But I bet a lot of other people have it more difficult than I do, adjusting to the culture and everything. Because there are so many cultures here that are not the same back home, and there are so many things back home, so many cultures and norms back home that are not accepted here and everything. And there are so many things that are okay and accepted here but are not okay, not accepted back at home. And I think that's normal when you change environments, because of course there's going to be difference in cultures, beliefs, and things that people accept and don't accept and all of that. And yeah, although I did struggle with that, but I think I'm learning to settle. Should I say settle? I'm settling in, and I'm learning to accept these things, and I'm adjusting to these things. This one is usually common amongst international students, especially if you're schooling in a non-English speaking country, where I am, for instance. The language barrier is crazy. The language gap is insane. They do not speak English here. Okay, some of them know English, of course. Some of them know English and they're very fluent in English, but majority of them do not. And it's really a hassle, because imagine you book an Uber and the Uber guy is calling you to be like, oh, I'm coming, or all of that, or what's your house number, or I've arrived, or something. And you want to talk to the Uber guy, but you can't communicate because he's speaking another language and you only speak English. It's very fascinating. And you know what's the funny thing? Because I've met really nice people. So sometimes they try to make conversation with you, and I can't understand what you're saying, and you can't understand what I'm saying either. And my take is, let's just not have the conversation, because if I have it my way, I would not have conversations with people at all. I just want to be alone. And because it would be rude if a person is talking to me and I just ignore them and don't respond or anything. I try to respond, and I'm responding in English, and I'm like, oh, baya, Gujarati nahi nahi, only English. And, and he's like, oh, Gujarati nahi? And he goes and keeps speaking Hindi and Gujarati. And I'm like, I literally just told you that I only speak English. And sometimes they try to speak English, but you just can't understand. So the language barrier is there. It's fun though, but sometimes it's very challenging, especially during classes, because majority of my classmates, in fact, all of my classmates are citizens, right? So we're just two in my class that are international students, and so most of the lectures, some of the lectures though, are not in English. It's just so that majority of the class can comprehend better, and I understand that. But at the end of the day, I have to study extra because I can't understand what's being said in the class. So yeah, the language barrier is one of the major things that I face here. I think because of that, I go out less, because I don't want to interact with a lot of people, and I can't understand what you're saying. I don't even know what you are talking about at all. Okay, also I suffered a lot from being homesick and everything, considering that I was someone who was always in my house, so I'm used to my family and everything. So I think it was after being here for 3 months that the homesickness kicked in, and it was terrible. I had to call one of my friends here who looks after me and everything, and I was like, yo, it's very difficult here, I want to go back home. There was a day I woke up in the morning and I wrote a message. I was like, I want to go back home. I'm going to go and tell them that they should send me back home. I can't do this anymore. Yeah, the homesickness it's a lot is actually there, and most international students face this. And people don't really see that. They think that, oh, you're schooling elsewhere, you're going to make friends and have fun and everything. And although most of the time that's the case, but people like me, we get homesick a lot. I can just be sitting and something just reminds me of home, and I am moved to tears. Like, I literally start crying because I miss my family so much, and I literally want to go home. And you're going to get lonely a lot. You're going to be alone a lot because I don't know, because it's a new environment, so you need to make new friends. You have to meet new people, and I don't like meeting new people. I do not like making new friends. Okay, it's not that I don't like making new friends. It's very hard for me to make new friends. I don't know. There's something about like not meeting new people that just thrills me. But I don't like going out. So how am I going to meet new people? So I'm not complaining because it's my fault for not going out, right? So you're going to be lonely and homesick a lot. I get lonely and homesick a lot. It happens very frequently. And I think most international students go through this. Again, remember that these are my personal experiences and my personal takes and opinions. It might not be the same for everybody. Don't come for me. Racism. Like, I don't know. Like, personally, I haven't being a victim, although I have been, but not in that, like, not in a great not in a large, how will I put it, not like as people say, not as I've heard, not as, it's not been as bad as I've heard people go through, but racism is very present and it's very evident. It's like, okay, now I don't know if this classifies as racism, but the one I've suffered is like, you book an Uber, right? And your Uber driver comes and you're moving to him and you're like, oh, it's me, I'm coming, just a second. And he sees you walking towards him. And because he sees that you're African, he's going to cancel that ride. Yeah, your Uber guy is going to cancel that ride and drive off. And it happened to me once when I was in a hurry to go to college because I had like microbiology practical. And I was in a hurry to like go to my college. And I was running to this guy like, oh, I'm coming. And the guy canceled the ride, and in front of my eyes, he drove off. It's not something that has happened just once or twice. It has happened like 3 to 4 times. It has happened a lot. And that's why I don't know if it's classified as racism or it's just bullying. I don't know. And yeah, there's been one too many cases. There have also been people who are very nice, who have been very nice to me though. I remember there was this time, it's not been too long ago, I was running to the bus. Like, I usually take the bus from my school to the nearest bus station to my house, and then I take Uber home, right? And I was to get on the bus, and before I could like scan the QR code and get into this bus station, the bus had already come. But the guy spotted me and my classmates coming, and he already knows us because we usually always get on the bus there. So he stopped, and everybody had gotten on the bus and they were waiting for him to drive up, and he literally drive off, and he literally waited for us. We scanned our code and we ran to the bus and we got in. I know it's a little gesture, but I don't know. I'm such a person that very little things get to me. Like, you can do something very little and you're like, it's just normal, but I would take it like so much because I was literally smiling that it really, really meant a lot to me. I came home and I wrote it in my journal. So yeah, I've also met really nice people. If you want me to do a story time about like my good experiences and my bad experience, because there was this day, no, I'm going to do this in a story time, because if I start telling this story, it's going to take a really long time. So yeah, these are some of the things I've suffered as an international student, and I won't say it's normal, but it's one of those things that international students usually suffer here and there. There's the depression, the sadness, the homesickness, the language barrier, the difference in currency. Especially if you're coming from a country like mine, the difference in currency is this much. So imagine somebody sends you money from home, and from home it seems like such a large sum, and you convert it to the currency here, and it's not even all that useful. Like, it can't even do anything for you, right? So there's that, there's the food, there's the accommodation issues, and all of that. But Although despite all of this, I've still had some very, very amazing memories, and I've met some of the best people you could ever like come across and everything. But it's just one of those things you have to go through. So guys, if you liked this video and you want to watch more videos like this, I don't know why I'm stuttering today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video and you want to watch more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. I upload my videos every Monday and they are very, very interesting. You can tell they're very interesting. I give tips and tricks and advice that nobody asked for and everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you next time. Bye guys, stay safe.